live, and here we go. Oops. I am good to go, and hello and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And believe it or not, we're here again for another great show, and tonight we're going to be talking about remote viewing, how you can do it, how does it affect your soul, what can you see. We're going to get it from the best in the business, Max Vision. And tonight I got Al, who's on the road somewhere in Texas, and Max Vision, and Trina should be along shortly, hopefully. And everybody's starting to show up right now. There's Mary Wins in the chat. All right. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Nina, I got something. I got a package. I got a package in the mail. I'm ready for that unboxing.
Oh.
So thank you very much. That was my prize for coming to the costume party she had, which was really nice. And there's Gaza Cav. We're all rooting for you guys. I hope everything's good. Just watched your video on your gardening with your ginger and stuff. Thank you for putting that out. So I say head on over there and check that out, everyone. It's real short, won't take up much time. Just go watch it. But anyway, and there's Travis the Brick and Brenda Milky's mom, Pamela Jean. Hey, we got a full house. Okay, so anyway, tonight we're going to go over a little bit of this. It's called Tracks in the Psychic Wilderness. Oops, there we go. Tracks in the Psychic Wilderness by Dale E. Graff. And this is a book about remote viewing, his adventure and journey on it. It tracks in the psychic wilderness, one man's personal and professional journey into the realm of parapsychology phenomenon. Can believe that? I said that all in one word. Like,
good job.
Psychology phenomenon. Okay. Anyway,
hey,
this is his whole his version of what he went through, his thoughts, some history, things like that. It was very interesting. I got some markers on it, so we're going to go through that tonight. And but anyway, right now, Max, it's glad to have you back again.
Great to be back.
Yes. Are you ready for all these hard questions? And maybe
absolutely not. So let's get it going.
Yeah. Well, let's get with Al before we lose him on the road, because that's what usually happens. Al, I want you to tell me all about the cards that you're doing for the 72 Angels of Magic.
Nice.
Right. So I've got 6 left to do. I got 2 more Aquarius and 6 Pisces, and I'm done. So as soon as I get those done, I'm going to send them in to manufacturing and get a quote, for the sets. And I'm guessing around $45 a set. I get a lot of pre-orders.
Nice.
So, and it's going to have to be 100 minimum, to make it affordable.
Well,
okay?
Yeah, don't do like you did last time. Order 5 or 10 decks. Just order the whole batch. You'll make it up in the end, and life will work out.
Yeah, well, I still have at least 40 decks of the first Milky Way Soul Tribe deck. So Christmas is right around the corner.
You got how many decks? 40 yet?
At least 40 left.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got probably $1,200 invested into that first round.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if folks want to buy more decks for Christmas time or whatever, for family, I'd be greatly appreciated.
Yes. Go buy a few decks, give them away to family and friends, especially if you got your name on there, your picture on there. What a great, wonderful gift that would be to somebody saying, look, I got a deck of cards with my name on it. These cards are wonderful. And they're here. I got decks myself. They come with your original Brian Barnett card in there. And they're really well done. Here's a brand new pack. I ain't even gonna open it, but they got Brian's thing on the back. They got different cards all in there, like that. That's a Joker card. See, I got a card deck that's open, but anyway, go on about the cards, Al. I because we want to get those sold out for you so you can start on your second deck. No use of buying a second deck, getting them made if you haven't got the first deck all sold, right?
Yeah. Teresa's helped me out with the second deck as well, and but we've got to get pre-orders because, like these angel cards, um, it's going to be, it's going to be at least twice as expensive as the Milky Way cards because they're larger cards. They're more like tarot cards.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there's Wayne. You got Wayne's picture on there. We got everybody on there.
Yeah.
There's David Castle. It's all and Rufus.
Nice.
Oh, and Brian. There's Brian. You got all the people that you're gonna remember and recognize. There's Deborah Truex.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh, there's Brian. Keep drawing the same
Nice and
card.
glossy.
Brian's telling me something.
Yeah.
And then you got your name on there. You can't forget. There's Lori.
Uh-huh.
And what do we got here? Michelle Can-Am Free. And she's in the shit. Hey, Michelle, much love to you. Thank you for coming. We got everybody in there. We got all kinds of cards, and they're real well done. So go buy some for Christmas. I know that it seems a little expensive for a deck of cards, but it's a one of a kind. You'll never see that kind of stuff again. It's all original. It's handmade. Well, not handmade, but hand designed by our own Al here.
Yeah.
Big Al.
And they're all done. They're all done out in the road too. While I'm out in the road, that's when I create. Because
it's one of those things, that we've all experienced, all these people that are in our lives, and this is one way to keep them in remembrance. And you can play cards with them. If you take care of them, these cards will be around for years and years to come. Now, if you want a deck of cards, just go down in the description here. It says the Crystalline Network. Go there. The thing is there. It says Al's Cards. Go there. Click the link. Go to PayPal if you got a PayPal account, and click that. Just send him the money. He'll send you the deck of cards. Here's the thing. If you don't, I'm sure we'll get a hold of him somehow, and you can send a check or a money order or something to him some way or another. We'll get you his address. Okay. But I'm not giving the address over the internet here because everybody and all them trolls will be sending you stuff. You'll go home with open your mailbox and have a big pile of junk mail.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, you don't want that.
Well, look, we're fixing to head to the truck stop to take showers.
All right.
But plus we got to fuel up. But anyway, thanks again, Robert and Max. I guess Trina will be along in a few minutes.
Yep.
So did you have a pretty good Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah, of course. Now, Max, I don't think you got your Thanksgiving's a different time there.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Oh, a while ago.
A few weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we were out on the road. We were in Arizona Thursday, but we were able to get some dinner finally at Trina's Thursday night.
Awesome.
So we celebrated the Indian genocide.
That never had. But the way the story goes.
Well, really, it was just the dumbest damn thing they ever did. Really.
Yeah, it really.
They should have just let them starve to death. They would have been fine. That land's just too inhospitable. Let's not go there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were taught in school.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been doing a lot of shows. If you haven't watched my Native American myths and legends show, where I do a little bit of history and we do some myths and legends, the Indian culture was very trusting, honest, and sincere. Their word and their honor meant everything to them. That was like having gold in the bank.
Yeah.
Right. And the white man came along, and it came with that, as you'd say, a forked tongue, and their forked tongue and their religion, and literally, tricked them, did all kinds of crazy stuff. And the Indians fell for it because they were so trusting and honest and loyal and, to themselves. And they just manipulated them against the other one group of Indians against another group.
Yeah.
And then after they wiped the other ones out, they wiped them out and nobody won. Put it that way.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Well,
so anyhow, it's all good and we'll figure it out. And hopefully it doesn't happen in the future. Now, speaking of the future, everybody.
Yeah.
I have a video out on Brighteon, and it's only going to be on Brighteon. And if you want to check it out, you have to go to the Milky Way Brighteon channel. The link is in the description. Go there and check it out. It's called Worldwide Discussion or Roundtable Discussion. Now, in there, I have Manimu, Delbar, and Nina the Mystic, and we're all talking about things that we can't talk about on YouTube, about our own little world, what we can do, how's it coming about, what we feel that's happening. It's really informative. It's like no other discussion I've ever had on this channel here. And or will ever have, because I'd get banned in a heartbeat just like that.
Right. Yeah.
Unless you talk in code, which is kind of difficult at times.
It is, because if somebody slips up a little too much, you're done. So I'd appreciate y'all going over there and checking that out. Subscribe to the channel over there, because someday we might not be on here. And like Al had said to me earlier, that's probably inevitable. That, unless you conform to YouTube and bow down to the YouTube gods, you will be kicked off. So
well, that's starting to affect TikTok as well.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm back on StreamYards again. I was on Apps for a while, but they changed their policies to where I couldn't broadcast with them anymore. I went back to, under Teresa's suggestion, I went back to StreamYard and reinitialized everything. And that seemed to work. So the broadcast went out today good. So I'll be using StreamYard again for a while until I'd like to use Odyssey, but I haven't figured their system out yet. So they're very much like YouTube, not with the notification, not with your channel as much, but once you get broadcast and get enough subscriptions out, it pretty much operates just like YouTube. And it's got a couple of advantages. Without premium, you can play it in the background, which is nice for your data, so you don't have to watch the screen, you can just listen. So check out other platforms, guys. Report back and tell us what you find.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with you. I also just recently started a Instagram channel with Milky Way Soul Tribe, so everybody can share on there. So I'd appreciate if everybody goes over there, and the link is in the description below. Go there, check that out. Like it says, I'm trying to branch out to new and bigger, better realms. The more, kind of like you said, check them all out, Max.
Yeah, we'll be small on these platforms to begin with, but eventually, if things keep going the same way they are, eventually people will come. So.
Well, and that's YouTube is like the big daddy. And if they find you on YouTube, they'll follow you over to the smaller places if they want to really listen. Yeah. Well, I know how people are. I do it the same thing. I see a channel I like and I subscribe and I move on, and I may never watch that channel again. But
I found a lot of channels that I like on Odyssey and Rumble.
I'm on Rumble. I think I subscribe to Rumble. And then there's what other one is there? Rockfin. That's the other one. I like Rockfin.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
I can listen to the Christian whistleblower on there, the Jeffrey Daughtry. He's on Rockfin.
He's also on Odyssey.
He is. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I know he's on BitChute. I know he's on Rockfin. But I try to check him out. I really like listening to some stuff. He really.
It's a very small crowd on Odyssey, but
It'll
How
get
many-
bigger.
Yeah.
It'll get bigger. It'll get bigger.
How many go on Rockfin? More than,
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's just there's just people on Rockfin that just, I mean, like it says, I go there. What Forbidden Knowledge News is on there. Christian Whistleblowers on there. There's a few other ones that I've watched on there too. But like it says, I bounce all over the place. Some people are on
nice.
BitChute. Like I'll go to BitChute to listen to Creepy Little Book. And then some people just have stuff on Spotify, like Raised by Giants. He's on, I think he's on Odyssey too, and he's on a Spotify, because a lot of times I'll check out his podcast and listen to it in the truck while I'm driving on Spotify, which is really nice. And I might just do that with some of the Milky Way shows, because we do a lot of talking here. You don't need to see my ugly mug to know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I might just take the audio and stuff it in over there.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
well, all right, guys. Well, again, Robert, thank you for inviting me on. And can y'all read that?
No, it's too bright. Oh, there you go. Not tonight.
How about not tonight?
Is that on your face taper?
That's my pillowcase. And then when I'm gonna do something, then I flip it around, and that's it right there.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Tonight
yeah.
and not tonight.
Nice.
That's pretty creative. That's pretty
Yeah, man.
creative.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks for coming, Al. We'll see you
We'll see
around.
you, Al.
Okay.
All right. Love y'all. We'll see you.
Cheers.
All right, we got a whole house full coming in here. We got Teresa D and Don, who's on. We got Renee Hutchelson. Thank you for coming. And Pamela Jean is in the house. Karen Lynn's in the house. Scotty Boy is back. Scotty Boy, did you have that big hard liquor drink for me? I hope you don't get too tipsy. And Project Skyfall's in the house. Hey, how you doing? Let's see. Tell your roommates to watch too. Let's see. Travis the Brick. I don't think I missed anybody. And Michelle Can-Am Free, of course. And Witchy Moon showed up. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? Loving and blending blessings to you all. Hugs, she says. And David Castle. Thank you,
Hey,
David. David is an all-around guy. He's always there when you need him. He's always in the chat room. I appreciate, and I'm so grateful that
He's always got
helps
something
out.
nice to say. Yeah.
Yes, he is a wonderful guy. Shout out to you. Thumbs up. Thank you so much for being who you are, David. Okay, well, let's get on with this. Okay, so I was reading this book, and it talks about this guy and his journey to learn about being a remote viewer. And I'm hoping that this goes with some of the stuff. I know it goes with some of the stuff, because when I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, I think you've said this stuff. And maybe you people out there need to hear it, not just from me or Max, but sometimes it's just, this is the guy who was in the beginning with the remote viewing stuff. So this was his experience and things like that. So as it was going on, he wrote down all this stuff. And there we got Trina.
Hi, Trina.
Hey, Trina, thank you for coming. I'm glad you made it.
Me too. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. Yes,
See
I
ya.
just got in the door. So
Awesome.
No rush. We were doing real good. You just missed Al. Probably seen him plenty anyway. So it was all
yeah,
good.
yeah, fed him turkey dinner. I mean, shoot, on the road. Glad he could come by and at least get some food. I was like, yay.
That's right. That
Awesome.
is absolutely right.
Yeah.
So we got this new book. I'll just update you on this. It's called Tracks in Psychic Wilderness by Dale E. Graff. I've been reading this book, and it's all about his journey through the remote viewing adventure. And a lot of this stuff is his observance, just like ours. I was really surprised. It's just like my, going through this process. and I thought it would be nice to share, and we could all talk about some of this stuff. So I'm going to read a little. Here's the beginning. He's with this, just to put a little context with it. He's going to this place. He's a NASA worker or whatever, and he's going to check on remote viewing, and he's gonna he's supposed to
like for a class or something, or?
He's supposed to review it, maybe write something about it, debunk it to see if it's legit or not. And he's going in there like, yeah, these guys are whatever, you know,
men who stare at goats.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he gets there and he's with another guy, and he says, oh, experience has shown, or the other guy is saying, the experience has shown that those who visit us to review our program can also do well. Direct participation reduces, even eliminates their suspicion that we may be doing something wrong. When people who have never done remote viewing before do well with our protocol, they know firsthand what remote viewing is like. They can't try to explain away our results or stand in awe of some superstar. Experience is always the best teacher. And I says, yeah, that's what it is. That's like your class. You know, first time I went there, I was like, okay. You know, and then I listened to you the last time. You're like,
yeah.
You know, you did the same thing. You went there, you tried it out, and you were like, you know,
there's something to this.
Yeah. And doing it for the first time is really good. So anyway, he goes on, research demonstrates that I skipped a few paragraphs and stuff. I'm skipping through all the mumbo jumbo, so you guys don't
Can I interject for a moment?
Go ahead.
The first time people do it, they have no preconceptions, which is it leaves them open. They don't know what to expect. So the first time they do it, usually the vision is very clear because they have nothing clouding their mind at the moment. If they're able to clear their head, which most people can for a couple of seconds, and those signals are coming in constantly. And if you just pay attention to them, and that first time you'll get hooked. It's amazing. Like the amount of people that come in and the first time they do it, they hit it bang, because there's no ego, there's no preconception, and it's always amazing to see. It's just okay, sorry. Just had to interject with that.
No, I think you're right. You're right on. It's almost like you're reading out of this book. Because we're going to get to that. We're going to get to his part.
Okay.
Here's some of the facts I got through it. Research demonstrated that psych training, psi, he calls it psi, PSI, is generally a suppressed pheromone, believe it or not. People who describe troubling psi experiences probably let their own fantasies get in the way. I did not see loss of control over psi by myself or others at anything that warranted such concern.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
your own fear is your worst enemy.
Yes. Yes. He says, maybe I was afraid of other people's opinions of remote viewing. It certainly was no secret that some leading scientists, now get this part, this I thought was really important because we're all under that spell. And it was no secret that some leading scientists and religious spokespeople positioned themselves solidly against psi or anything that resembled it. After studying their arguments, it became clear to me that their motivation was not to explore openly to see what was there, which is the true scientific common sense approach, but rather to shut off the search for truth.
Yeah.
Now, that's what we have always been about here, and is searching for the truth.
Yeah. Make sure when you find truth, it's the truth that's approved, you know? that's the goal.
Absolutely.
Of institutions and government.
Yeah, because it's their truth that they want you to believe in.
Yeah.
You know, that's why those religious people and politicians are always against that kind of stuff. Okay, in a sense, the scientists were simply expounding scientism, science as fixed, science as religion. Some of the religious people who are critical of psi seem to me were the most concerned about preserving certain ancient interpretations of reality, some of which were clearly fear-based, or perhaps they were driven by the need to control, a tendency that eventually happens in any organization, especially when similar but competing groups emerge as perceived threats. It was also possible that some of these people were fearful because they viewed psi phenomena as being the realm of the supernatural. And that is so true throughout history. Throughout history.
Especially these days.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely.
The attack on the psychic abilities of human beings has reached an all-time high. I at least
think about it too.
Yeah.
That's the divine feminine, and there's no divine feminine left in religion. It's there's just such a strong correlation between the suppression of the female and the suppression of the subconscious. The
don't you mean the birthing people?
Huh?
Yeah, don't you mean the birthing people?
Yes.
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 We have to use the proper pronouns here.
You know, I just words can save you or slay you.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy the games that people play with words, and even the English language. Most of our language is spoken in a reversal, which your subconscious mind doesn't even understand. So, you know, there's so much to that about how can we fix our language? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've recently heard that one of the ideas of the Great Reset is to bring in a new language, a new universal language. So who controls that? I could see it happening, but who gets to control it?
What if there's two different kinds though? Like, you know, you see the bifurcation, the splitting of two different directions.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen that there might be two societies being set up, two completely different ones.
Yeah, and I've seen it too. So it looks like
I'm in for that. That sounds half decent to me, you know.
I saw it for a while, Max, and then after a while, they split apart.
Yeah.
Realities actually completely split apart, but it took time. So I don't know if this is 100 years. I don't know what this is, but I know that I saw both of them, and then I saw the two planets gently start to pull apart, and they finally snapped apart, and then it was parts of the old realities were still on each place, but eventually they would be, you know, going in their own directions. But I did see that when the shift happened, we wouldn't even really know it happened. So I thought,
we've done remote viewing of the society of the future, and it would lend to that because the people's, well, if it say is an energetic thing brought about by the people, if the people have divided into two like camps, two completely separate groups living apart from each other, maybe their energy fields would kind of create their own system, their own planet, and their own reality. Maybe that's
what I
as a collective.
You know, it was so weird. What I saw was like the Earth was being thrown into a washing machine, and it was hitting the spin cycle. And when the spin cycle hit, I saw one Earth split out into 12 new Earths. So I saw 12 new Earths representing the 12 new positions of the zodiac, and all of them were sitting in a new vibration according to what they needed to be for their function.
So it could be like Babylon, like when we did speak and think with one accord. Maybe we were creating the world that the God, not the creator, but the God wanted. You know, maybe we were creating worlds that he didn't want. And that's why we were scattered.
That could be. You know what I think too?
Something like that.
I think to me, Babel represents a tower, and a tower represents to me an obelisk. I think it was an energy center, and I think this energy center somehow activated human potential. And when people, when the Tower of Babel became so unified, and they were trying to build all the way to heaven. That's going to the higher mind. So I think that people were getting to where we are now. And when people started getting to a certain level of consciousness, it threatens the powers that be. So they had to make sure and do a mind wipe. So I'm pretty sure it was some type of an amnesia or a mind wipe. And I think what I saw was it looked like it was done through cereal.
Through cereal?
Cereal.
Yeah.
Food. I
Just
saw
grains, yeah.
food. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
This is what I saw.
And now
So-
they're talking about tracking our food with nanotech, eh?
Yeah.
I think they've already been doing
Yeah.
it.
They're going to put it in the food. So it's probably already in there.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I think it already has been.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
they announce it, they've already been doing it for a while.
Right. It's like a little late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, what was it? When they said they did the remote viewing stuff. By the time we actually found out about it, they'd already canceled the program.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's done it over the years ago. What?
Yeah.
Now that to me makes me think of the Tartarian buildings and that style.
Absolutely.
You know, is that like an amplification, or even could it be a suppression? Could it be a control type of thing? The way the buildings are and the resonance from them, they do seem to be more healing than
That's what I was
than
going to say.
controlling.
I think we were using free energy systems
Mhm.
in that era.
Yeah,
And I think the energy systems were frequency very happy and harmonious.
yeah, I think so
And
too.
I think that people started getting way too smart, way too fast. And I think that's when they decided to change the electrical grids and change the frequency
Yeah.
and change the music frequency and start changing all of it. So we would be more of a mess. So we could be kept under control easier. through
Yeah, and then
discomfort.
they introduced economic boom and bust way
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, making people
Yeah.
forget all. It's like they talk about this mud flood, and the more I look at pictures of all that stuff, I think there must have been some kind of mud flood, and
Well, think
nobody
about
knows
it.
about it.
Think
What
about
happened?
it too. If they were playing with free energy, that means they were doing scalar wave. If scalar wave technology, if it's used as a weapon, it could do a liquefaction of the soil.
Yeah,
That would be very easy to do. So this could have been some type of war, and they
Yeah.
were using scalar technology, and it could
yet
have
nobody can remember it. So what? It'll
Yeah.
wipe your mind? Is that?
absolutely, because if you got hit with a magnetic force that strong, it could wipe your brain.
yeah. And then there's the fasces too that can be augmented to do different things as well. That they've
Yes.
had for well over 2,000 years.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that's a definite energy weapon. I can build one and it will work just like a directed microwave.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there's things on YouTube where you can build a microwave gun out of your microwave.
Yeah, I can do it from scratch, just the parts.
Wow, nice,
Yeah.
nice. I always wanted to do that, but well, I got two
Yeah,
microwaves.
right,
sitting
it's
down below here.
dangerous. It's kind of dangerous to do. It is
Yeah.
really dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't want to be playing with it unless you have to.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you might microwave yourself.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
making a mock one just to show them that we know what they're doing and what they've been doing. You know,
Yeah, because if you
No,
can do it in your back garage, they can do it in real life. I mean,
Yeah.
they're in the, you know,
But
Yeah,
you know,
it
it's like since I was a little kid, I kept hearing, you came here to graduate, you came here to be like Jesus, you came here to win. So, you know, the way that I understood that that was going to happen was through us coming back into that power again. So you know, we might already be there. I don't know. I wonder that sometimes if we are already there, because like you teaching remote viewing, these are the things that are so hidden and so suppressed, and most people aren't still even aware of it. This is such a profound level of teaching of consciousness. I think this is what was meant with the definition that you come here to win and be like Jesus. That's a being like Jesus attribute. It's one of the many, but it is one of them.
being able to see.
That is being like Jesus.
Yeah.
So yes, this is it. I'm pretty sure what we're all doing with connecting to energy fields, polarity, NLP, trance work, meditation, remote viewing, telekinesis, all of it, telepathy, clairaudience, clairsentience, all of it. That is the being like Jesus part. And I keep seeing that the teachings of the true closest teachings to understand Jesus would be to understand the power of the moon, the magnetics, and the subconscious, the endocrine, the chemical systems, the subconscious layers of you that digest your food, make your heart beat regular, all this beautiful intelligence that we have really no consciousness of. It's time to learn how to command that part of us. And you are teaching one of the ways to do that. So thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Learn to track your pineal cycle too, guys. When the moon is in your sun sign, that's when the oil is resting, and after the 2.5 days, it's released to your body. Has everything to do with remote viewing, your intuition, your health, the endocrine system, the pineal, thyroid, all of it.
This is going to sound really weird with all this, but I was reading or something. I don't remember. I found out this information somewhere. I should write it down because I just forget. And they said, now does this make any sense? When you go to sleep, you set a glass of water near your bed. And after because water, we're water and it's water, and the water, you're programming the water with whatever you're dreaming. Then when you wake up, you drink that glass of water.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I've heard of that, but I've only heard of that with quantum jumping.
So that'll contain the memories of your dreams in it.
Yes, if you got it close enough to you.
Yeah, so that can help you remember. Is that what
yes.
that?
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
That's a really good idea.
I've also heard of people wanting to quantum jump to use that same principle. Say you want to gain an attribute or a gift.
Joe Sapiens has a question.
Yeah, you focus on what part of me may have an understanding of this information or this talent, art, play an instrument, whatever. And then you focus on that and say, when I wake up and when I drink this water, I'm going to invoke the command to quantumly jump into a new reality. And then you have another glass of water. They say when you wake up or when you finish meditation, and when you drink the new glass of water, that's the new quantum reality. Like you have the ability to actually grab a hold of that gift. So I've seen it done a couple different ways, but I think that's potent and powerful, and potentially on how to manipulate fractals.
I don't remember where I read it exactly because I read so much stuff, but I thought it was a heck of a good idea. Joe Sapien was asking about how come he don't have ESP, and I kind of responded to him in the chat and said it's because you are suppressing it. You need to unlearn the stuff. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, come to class, Joe. Yes. You're probably not suppressed. You probably have a fully functional pineal. You can decalcify with cherry juice, pineapple juice. I drink a lot of pineapple juice. You can, there's keeping your health up and keeping your vibration up. Very important. Because they're interacting with us in fields. They're suppressing us with fields, electrical fields. So you have to be aware of that. That'll help you if you're aware of that, that can help you keep your vibration up, because you know that not all of your emotions and thoughts are entirely your own. So be aware of that, people. Like when you're feeling negative feelings for no reason, for no good reason, bad thought comes to mind. That may not just be you. That could be them interacting with you, because they have the Lily wave, which is basically an emotional feedback system, and it collects your emotions through wires in your house, and they record those and feed them back to you, and that reinforces those negative feelings, making them greater. Then they record those ones, feed them back to you, constantly back and forth, amplifying as they go. So if you're aware of these things, you don't have to be a victim of them.
Well, we suppress it. What I was trying to say is we suppress it ourselves because we're told to. We all have the ability.
Yeah.
And just like you said, in order to overcome that mental, you can't do it, there's no such thing, is to do it. And
Come to
that's
class,
what you,
Joe.
yes, yes, you said it so
for me,
nice.
Where I saw most people got stumped with opening up their abilities was they just doubted them. They literally didn't trust it. So they, you know, they get a thought or something and they just it doesn't stick. It's just going straight through because they're not grabbing a hold of it, because they're not paying attention to the subtle clues. And it seems like the spiritual part of us, it's very subtle. It's a soft nudge or a feeling, or whispers, or just a subtle flittering thought through your mind, but it goes so fast, you actually got to grab it, you know. And when you start to work with those little subtle signals, that's when you can really start to build and amplify your intuitive processes, however they're coming through, visual, audio, whatever. But it's most of it is learning to trust your signals and learning to understand how your body is signaling you, because it may be not the way anybody else does. So that can be your own mystery to figure out, is how do I understand and comprehend the signals I'm receiving from my higher guidance and the higher part of me? How do I in my body know when they're speaking to me? Ask for them to give you a signal. Ask for them to show you a way that you can recognize when they're trying to communicate with you, or your higher self is trying to give you information. Try to find a way to set up your own language with your own internal dialogue, and that will really help a lot.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go on with this guy, because this is the guy's first remote viewing, right? And we all had our first remote viewing, and this is his thing. Okay, and this is just kind of how you do it, Max, too. It's so funny. So they get the guy, they put him in a room. I'll just sum up all this stuff. They set him down. Apparently they must have gave him a piece of paper. The door to the comfortable, dimly lit remote viewing room closed. I was accompanied by this guy, Russ, whose only function was to prompt me to occasionally by saying, describe the target. And to ensure that I didn't fall asleep, which you always say, you know, get relaxed, you know, Russ, and I sometimes do, Russ had no knowledge of what the target would be. And okay, so anyway, I don't know how long he actually sat in this room, except after a few minutes of reasonable calm, I began to see a faint trace of something. I could not help but being curious about these inner perceptions and tried to interpret anything that popped into view. What were those faint light flashes? What about the odd lines, the dot of lines? Even though I was aware of normal visual phenomenon called photosynthesis, I hadn't experienced them before. No, those were not the target, and they were issuing from me. I could see how people might misinterpret that arising beyond themselves. He goes on. The guy keeps saying, describe the target, you know, keeping them awake.
Tell me what you see. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This sounds just like you, only a few different words. I faintly hear Ross repeat the request, describe the target. Suddenly I saw vague images. Since they were not all clear, I was concerned that my imagination was now coming on stage. Did I also have to send my imagination mind partner to the bleachers? I told Russ that I saw funny lines. Faintly, I heard Russ gasp, can you sketch any of those lines, those images that you see? And that's what you write it down. I got a whiteboard and I draw little pictures of whatever I'm seeing, you know, just, you know, as I go along. It's really easy that way. In slow motion, I began to sketch funny lines on the paper in front of me. It took the attention. I slipped out of my relaxed state, and after making my sketch, I refocused on relaxing and soon other faint. So he must have been doing this for a little while. Images zipped in and out of my visual field, and looking into the dark shadows and catching glints of faint reflected light. Several minutes, I began to feel disappointed, and nothing dramatic or vivid happened. Okay.
Sounds a lot more like a destination than just an image. So there would be a lot more involved in it because there's action and things going on.
Yeah. So then he says, we're going to wrap this up. And he says, in the last seconds, in sports, in the last minute shot, a Hail Mary pass, something succeeds, and even a routine learning task. Now we know the effort of nearly at the end, we usually do better. Immediately after Russ's statement, I was surprised to see another image. It was still not too clear, but I could discern boundaries in a basic shape. I caught a glimpse of a large building, and I thought I recognized from an earlier drive to Milano Park, but I felt that this might have been my imagination, a mind partner nudging in. I was not deeply relaxed, and I thought I might be beginning to invent. Maybe I was trying to figure out Hal's location too soon, and then he goes on and on and on. Well, the session was over. Okay. So he says he dreamt he thought about going to this park. He wrote down, he felt drowsy and a bit spaced out. A few minutes I had drawn and written. All I had drawn on a long, thin band that I saw noted a walkway surrounded by a sunken garden. I wrote about it and not draw what I thought was a tall building in Milano Park. He didn't draw the building. See, he didn't draw the building.
Didn't trust himself. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Maybe that he responded and talks to Hal, put away a few things. Okay. Great. He's trying to overcome your resistance over dinner. The next morning. Okay. So Al says to him, he says, been packing forth along the boardwalk, looking down in the tidal flats. Yeah, okay. So Al says, come on, let's go with me. They take offense. He went with Al basically, and he went to this place. It was a park, and had some emblems, the target of the target area. I was not convinced. The target was simple. So were my perceptions. I needed to see better results before I could accept my own talent, remote viewing ability. Like the first tennis games, maybe I'd begun to reach out towards these new boundaries and caught a glimpse of the target area. I had to be closer look. I had to continue exploring those boundaries. Anyway, when they got there at the place where he was, when he was standing there, he looked up and he could see the building that he didn't describe.
Yeah.
So, and in the distance, it says here, straight ahead on the boardwalk where he was now, he looked up. In the distance loomed a tall structure, the Milano Park Municipal Building, but that was visible from many places in that area. So the thing was, when he was remote viewing this, was he remote viewing it from his own eyes in the future when he was in the park?
Possibly.
And that's why he was in the park and he's looking at the building.
Yeah.
And he was concentrating on the building, and that was sending the waves to his past self. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like that deja vu moment kind of thing.
And I hear that all the time. I was going to put this down, but I didn't.
Yes. It's important to always put everything down.
Yeah, put everything down. It's usually right. Your first impressions are usually right.
Yes. Yeah. And that's where I seem to have the best luck. I just write it all down and I look at it and I think, I seen something white. I see something blue. And then I start putting it all together, little pieces by pieces by pieces by pieces. And then I come up with, looks like it's white and bright. So it must be light out, or it's moonlight. And then I think about how I feel when I'm looking at it, and it feels cold or it feels hot, am I feeling hot while I'm there? Those little things. Do you do the same?
Yeah, I try to prompt people as much as I can remember. Like with the, do you feel like you're inside, outside, is it hot, cold? What colors do you see? Are there people? Are there animals? Just prompting people to trigger something in their mind. And if that's what they see, hopefully they'll write it down, but yeah, absolutely.
Now we're going to move on to Trina's favorite part. This is called the tracking sigh in the dreamscape. There we go. Oops, there.
Well, before you go on, can I just describe to you guys what happened to me my first time?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's very similar to what happened to him. I actually did my first remote viewing in a shopping mall. So I was listening to a video on it. It may have been Farsight, I'm not sure. I think it was that red-haired guy, so I'm pretty sure it was Farsight. And he was describing how remote viewing was done. And he had a picture to show everyone. And he gave us the number. I wrote it down. And in a shopping mall, I closed my eyes and I saw a V shape like this. And I saw another shape like this. And then I started seeing some colors. And then I saw a ball. And the ball was going up and down and up and down and up and down. And I started seeing some greens and stuff. And I thought, so I just drew what I saw. And when he showed the picture, it was a scene of a valley coming down to water and another peak in the distance like this, and the sun right above the peak. And I guess I might have been seeing it in time, but the sun was going up and down and up and down.
Wow. That's
Yes.
awesome.
That is very awesome.
Awesome. I've never remote viewed on purpose, but when I do it, I'm just there.
Mhm.
I'm there. I mean, there. I'm
Yeah.
at that place, just there. And I'm like, why am I here? What am I doing? Where am I?
Yeah,
sometimes I know
that
where I'm
would be
at, sometimes I don't.
fantastic to have, because we have destinations we do where we gather information.
Really? Yeah. Well, I should probably try that, because that seems to be like how more I roll. I just like,
Yeah, we go to
I
ancient
haven't
sites
seen
and see what really,
go back.
we-
So yeah, I probably need some help with
you'd
this.
be surprised at some of the things we see, some of the events of the past. We see them, they happen, but there's always something extra, some skew to them that, you're not told in the history of it,
Yes.
which is
That's how I
really
saw
interesting.
Serial thing with the whole Babel thing in Egypt. I saw cereal making people lose their memory.
Yeah, could be a
It's really
fungus or a
weird when
bug
I
in the cereal,
It was
or
really
even
weird.
nanotech.
Something, but and then I heard this has been done before. This has been done before. I just kept hearing this has been done before regarding
Yeah,
with what's happening now. This has been done before.
and now they're after the children again.
Yes.
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 I think
So
it's just
this has been done before.
before. Yeah, we it's our the thing is, I think it's our chance to overpower this, maybe not overpower the system or avoid it or something,
yeah.
come out on top,
remake
after
it.
it all. Yeah, remake it.
Yeah, because we've been under this
the-
system for about 6,000 years, some believe.
Yeah.
And
So, time for
like,
a new
when I
guard.
think about that, the word that comes to my mind, it's time to remember. Bring in
Yeah.
all of your different memories
Mhm.
with all of your different members, all of the different parts of you, the fractals, whatever, all of it. It's time to remember, which means remembering.
Karen.
You're bringing back your members into yourself. Remember.
Species with amnesia, Karen Lynn says. Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's what we were going to talk about here with this dream thing, is I think like you, Trina, you're remote viewing and you don't really intend to remote view, but you're doing it, unintentionally through your dreams or visions or whatever it is. You're doing that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the guy's talking about. And this is the same thing we've talked about a bazillion times here about having a dream, and our dreams say, this, that, and the other, and then we don't listen to them. We're too busy focused on everything else, and we don't take that time to have that dream book to write it down. And that's what he's talking about here. And in his remote viewing, as he's advancing. Now, this is farther, as you can see, it's farther into the book. You know, it's about almost halfway. And then now he's talking about dreams and how he's progressing with this. Like, I'm going to read some of the facts about dreaming and the dream state. And then he's talking about how he's trying to focus on that, the destination or that a picture or something like that. So he sleeps on it. And then when he wakes up, boom, you know, he's writing it down. And he goes back to sleep and he writes it down. And then he goes back to sleep and he writes some more down. Then at the end, he puts it all together and he's like, oh, yeah, because his mind is working on this all the time. But as most of you know, you wake up and within a little bit, you know, that dream's gone. That's me too. I wake up and I'm in this lucid state and I'm like, oh man, I got to remember that. And I'm like,
yeah. And then you got to go to work.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, before I can get up and do anything, it's like, it fades.
Now, if that was your job, that would be a lot different.
Yeah.
Like if you could take the time on the weekends and do that.
Yeah. But if you
might work a little better.
If you could get good at it, then you would, you know, it's a muscle. It's a muscle. We always talk about how you use it. You know, see the picture in the back. It's your muscle, the pineal gland. Max, you're talking about that. Trina, you're always talking about your pineal gland. If you get that muscle to work, you're going to have better luck at it. I might make it 5 minutes then instead of a brief fake 30 seconds.
We can cause structures in our brains to change size and shape over time through use. So,
and you said
I've seen it
over time.
I've seen it done instantly, instantaneously, literally. They still talk about.
I believe it. I would believe that.
Wow. When
if those cells decide to do it, poof, they could just do it.
It's subconscious. Yeah. When the subconscious decides to do it, that's when I call it when all three agree.
That's good.
The subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and there's something about this observer character, or it can be the observer of that part of that body that needs to heal. There's three involved, but when all three agree, you get to witness that the spontaneous healing, placebo effect.
I was just about to say that.
Miracles. It's literally straight up. Wow. But it is. I've never seen this power is I've never seen anything that is as powerful as it is. So no medicine could ever compare to the healing that this thing can do for you that's inside of you. Nothing else could ever even come close to its majesty within you, because it is holding all of the information of you. So it would never give you an inaccurate dosage. It would never give you the wrong prescription. It would never do anything like that, because it's not even part of what it is. This is the internal pharmacy that Jesus would speak about. Activating that magic.
In a non-religious way. This is the Jesus story.
Way. Yes.
This is the Jesus story. The story of the oil going through your body.
Yes, the Christo.
And going to the cross or the cave and then dying and then resurrecting, and the oil released from that. I have a list of all the chemicals that are produced and released in your pineal and your thyroid and released down through your body for healing. I'm in my cycle right now. I'm in my resting cycle, or the death cycle of the oil at the moment. If you guys go to Moon Tracks or AstroSeek, you can follow your moon cycle. And when the moon is in your sun sign, is when the oil is resting on the cross or in the cave.
Moon Tracks or whatever? What else is it?
Moon Tracks or AstroSeek. They're two lunar tracking calendars.
Okay, I got it wrote down.
Because your pineal is regulated on a 28-day cycle with a 2.5, 2.25 day resting period. It varies a little between each sign, but it's around that. and that the 2.5 or 2.25 days. For Virgos, it's almost 4 days. So, but that's the time on the cross that they speak of, or on the tree for Odin, or in the cave for Brahma, or whatever religion you're looking at.
Or under the tree for Buddha.
Yeah, under Buddha.
Yep. Yeah, ain't that weird how that always happens? It's always.
Yeah, because they're talking about the internal story of the Christ or Krishna or Buddha or whoever. That's you.
Yes.
The part that connects us. And yeah.
That's interesting. That is interesting. And I like that because it just makes a lot more sense than.
Yeah, and every country, every culture has the same story written for their culture.
Absolutely. And it's and everything focuses on the sun. And like I said, what are you looking at? The moon. And that moon table tells you when the Christ is resting or ascending within you.
Yeah.
And it's specific to you based on the power of the moon that connects to you through your sign and your specific cycle. That's what I mean. This is the part that makes all of us so unique. And the part of us that makes us all a little bit different, but yet one and the same. So this is the part, it's like the divine feminine part, this awakening of this knowledge and learning what happens to your body. In women, the menstruation. So we're double whammied, you know what I'm saying? So it's a powerful thing that's happening. And to have this awareness come back into the world is going to be a good thing for everybody, because it's going to help us balance the polarity of the planet.
Yeah, that 28-day cycle in between the resting period or the death can be divided into 2-day cycles of 7 for making 14 cycles of the chakra descending from the crown down to the root and back up. It just kind of gives you something to focus on during the periods when they're happening, and which chakra the Christos will be. Hi, Max. This is Max. He likes to do a cameo every once in a while when I'm on.
Hi, Max.
So hi, there you go.
There you go. Awesome.
Right on.
Everybody loves their
Say
animals.
hi. Say hi, Max. This is my overlord and master.
Hi, baby.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Awesome.
It's so profound because it seems like the moon is controlling all of the internal influences, but the sun is controlling the external. So I see the power in both.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put you.
Well, and this is all true because like I said, so basically this guy was talking about the same, things here. He's talking about the REM cycles. I don't know, we didn't talk, but the REM cycle is subject to recall dreams, even though the individual may have very little previous dream recall. Dreams are part of an ancient heritage. Dream content was considered important. This is a good one. By Aboriginal societies and early civilizations. Australian Bushmen still observe dream time for receiving information about the state of health of distant relatives or the approach of an unexpected travelers. Now, this is where we all went wrong. During the Middle Ages in Europe, dreams were feared and considered by many to come from some evil origin. The role of dreams fell into further decline and essentially vanished in those societies that were industrialization and rationalistic philosophies became dominant.
Gee, who started that thinking or theology?
Yeah. So it all goes back to your perception. And the controllers that are in charge said, that's voodoo, that's hoodoo, that you don't want to do that. When you dream something that's bad, don't dream anything. And we got to all thinking, oh my gosh. And what happened? The fear controlled us. And we said, wake up and we go, oh, I dreamed something. I don't want to know about it. I'm not writing it down. I don't see it as a prophecy. I don't see it as nothing. And the next
I ain't telling nobody nothing. No, didn't happen. I don't want to get whooped on the post.
Yep. I did that for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not good because here it goes again. Now I skipped a bunch of stuff because I'm going for good, important things. Dream state research has shown that dreams are vital. Now listen to this, people. Vital for health and wellness. When deprived of our dream cycle, we experience a variety of physical and psychological difficulties. Continuous use of certain drugs or alcohol can disturb our REM cycle, which in turn can lead to serious sleep disorders. Now, how many of you have serious sleep disorders because you're taking some kind of medications or drinking?
They used to have the arms. Before bars, there was arms, and you would go and drink at the arms. And that was because that's pretty much the police station. That was where they could keep control of you.
Oh.
And that's where you would blab and say stuff.
Uh-huh.
And because you were drunk, because they had the alcohol.
Right.
A little coercion there.
Yep. Little coercion, a little espionage, and yep.
Oh yeah,
great sleeper.
See,
Always.
they had their methods in the past too. That was their method then. That was the only place you could get that alcohol, and that's where the men went. And when they got them good and drunk, some of them would blab and say stuff, and damn, somebody's in trouble now.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And okay, well, and see, Trina, you said you're a good sleeper, huh?
Always.
Well, me too. Me too. I got to write down more of my stuff. I really need to.
I was a little kid. We'd have sleepovers and I'd get mad at everybody. I'm like, it's time to go to sleep, right?
Yeah. Don't worry. I can count to 1, 2, 3, and I could be out just like the guy's hypnotizing me. That's how fast I can go to sleep. I'm not kidding.
Oh gosh, I'm not that good, Robert. But yeah,
I mean,
a few minutes, and not more than a few minutes, Yeah.
I mean, some people have their talents, so
Yeah, my wife's out like that. It takes me half an hour.
Yeah, I have no problem. I can wake up, I can do stuff, go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to put it this way. I have to work on staying awake.
Just during the day for me.
Yeah. To work at staying awake. It says here, many individuals who explore their dreams have discovered dream material can be meaningful. That's you, Trina. Mm-hmm. You're always talking about your dreams and how meaningful they are and everything. Yeah. So there you go. Okay, listen to this. Now, we're not the only ones talking about this stuff because famous people have also used this material to get ahead in life. Now, this is really important. Dreams can be the source of new ideas. Many creative people, such as writers, artists, inventors, rely on dream state material for inspiration. Thomas Edison used catnaps for insight. Robert Louis Stevenson's novels originated with dreams, and Albert Einstein had childhood dreams that called attention to relative motion and motivated him to pursue work that led to his relativity and gravitational theories. Go figure.
Tesla
too. Yeah, it doesn't say Tesla, but
I know.
I do know Tesla did the same thing too.
Yeah.
So.
You know how everything right now is about the new Earth, 5D ascension, 3D versus 5D, bifurcation of Earth, 2 splitting Earths. I had that vision when I was about 10 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
10 years old. And they showed me cellular division, like that's how the Earth split would be through like a mitosis process of like conception. I was only 10. Yeah. And now I was like, that was such a profound vision. It's one of those ones that it was so many years ago, and it's still like it was yesterday.
Is that also is that is that going to be like tech versus non-tech people? Is some of us?
I couldn't see that. All I could see was, I'll give you a brief rundown of how it happened. I literally was on a crystal platform above the earth with the Lord, and we were talking, and this big thing behind us, which was like, I don't know if it was Father Time. I don't know if it was the Ancient of Days. I don't know who this was, but it was a very big thing. and it popped the earth. But before it did that, it made me feel the earth. It threw my consciousness in the earth. I felt everything at one time in third dimensional, and it was horrible. It was overwhelming. It was like, oh, stop, stop, stop. Pulled me out. Then he popped it. And I thought he killed everybody in the whole world. Everything was dark. It was gone. This could be the 3 days of darkness that they talk about. And then I was having a fit. So I turned around and I looked at this big thing, and all I could see was the profile of its face, which the earth could fit in its eyeball. And I saw its eye, and it was moving light. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And then he shoved my consciousness and my vision back towards the darkness where the earth was at one time, and then it was gone. Like he didn't want me to look at him. Like he would shove me away from looking at him. I got a glimpse, and then I was like not allowed to no more. It was like, no, kept my face forward, So looking at the dark space now where earth was. And then he laughed. And when he giggled, he said, my child, if I created it, why would you ever think I would not know how to care for it? And I was like, oh, duh. I just had this overwhelming knowing of how stupid and how stupid I was, and then he laughed and he held his hand out, which was way bigger than the whole earth. I mean, the earth was like a golf ball in this thing's hand. And he put his hand out and he went, whew, and he made the new earth. And then he threw me in the new earth and made me feel that.
Yeah.
And all I could tell you was the whole earth was a song, and everything, like the flowers knew my name and I knew their name. I don't even know how to explain that, but we knew who we were. It was weird. And everything, it was a frequency.
This has been coming to me. I've been always thinking of creation, the atom, the creator. I think that leads into some of the thinking been happening with me. That creature existed probably at the size you saw him too at one time. We're probably a fractal of that creature.
Probably. It felt like home when I saw it.
We're part of that creature, just as we're part of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like, hey, Dad, what are you doing that for? It felt, that's how it felt. I was like, hey. And he was like, face forward.
Why would I hurt myself?
Right.
Yeah.
That was the attitude. It was like, why would I do something so silly? Then I was like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt so like, oh, what? I forgot. Sorry. Like for a moment, I remembered how intelligent everything that's creating all of this truly was.
Yeah.
But then I also understood that there was a negative side to it too.
Yes. Yeah.
The parasitic part, the serpents, the worms, all this.
And it can become overabundant in areas for times.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too, because I was always told that you guys came in to be the antivirus. And then I always kept hearing it's time to kill the parasite. And now look what works to cure this little plague upon the land that we're having. It's a parasite treatment.
Yeah, there's an invading consciousness that shouldn't be.
Yeah. So it's like, everybody, parasite treatments might be good.
Yeah. Yeah, we need the ancient warriors here right now. We need them all.
Yeah. And then wormwood, wormwood comes.
Yeah, I saw wormwood back in 2012.
Yeah, and that's
with
also
my wife.
A homeopathic remedy for parasite treatment.
It was closer to us now than it'll probably ever be. It was as big as the moon in the sky. Had 2 long tails coming from it. This was back in 2012. I didn't have a cell phone, so no pictures. But yeah, me and my wife saw it in the sky. We pointed it out to a few couples that were walking by. It didn't really phase their brains. Like, we showed them the moon there, and there's this other planet. Do you see it?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Yeah, I just kept on going. Yep.
You don't understand what this means, like.
It's
even on a physical level. What it means is a planet can go by and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yep. other than that, like, my God, that is a sign in the sky. Like, that you are never, ever going to be able to see again. That's
No.
never going to happen,
No.
and it just right over.
Yeah.
Me and my wife remember it like it was yesterday.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. But see, those are the ones that have the eyes to see and the
Yeah.
ears to hear. If other
Yeah.
people, they can see the same thing, but they can't really see it.
They didn't really see it. No.
No. Mm-mm.
It was, and it only lasted for like 15, 20 minutes and then it was gone. And this was just when they started really chemtrailing, a year or so before they really started chemtrailing. So they were kind of a little late on that one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh,
so we saw it.
Yeah.
And yeah. Now they're chemtrailing because it's close to the sun right now, and you can see it with goggles on quite often. So
Yeah, the sun's been looking really weird.
Yeah, it's
here
it's
about
probably
4
coming
days ago.
around the sun right now, because
Yeah, it was
that was
weird.
6 years ago and went by.
I saw that too when it did that. And I saw anomalies with the sun here, and we saw a
Yeah.
lot of weird stuff. And yeah, but I didn't get to see the winged disc like you did. I didn't.
Yeah, it looked like
some pictures, but not with my own
yeah.
eyes.
If you want to imagine what it looked like, imagine a dream catcher with two very, very long feathers, like
Wow.
feathers that are about 10 times as long as the diameter.
Wow.
That's what
Wow.
it looked like.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Things are changing. I was reading
That's
somewhere
funny.
the other day. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, really long tails. And they were wavy too. Like they waved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
And that was, I think that was because there's a cloud of debris around it. And the
Yes.
thickest parts will be on the edges that catch the light. So that's why those two tails show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. These things come and they go, and if you don't see them, people just go on about their lives. And, who was it that I was watching? I don't know if it was Ben Davison was talking about, or somebody was talking about the sun. You were talking about the sun doing its wonky changes, and they were saying that because the sun used to be real yellow, then it's white now, and then the guy says that it'll change colors as the different gases come out of the sun, and it should change to a light blue next, and then blue. It'll change to a light blue. So be watching for that.
Interesting.
I
kind of think it's electrically driven, and the color could change by the charge, so that could have something to do with it too, though.
I think too, all the chemicals coming out of the volcanoes. I think that might be part of it too.
Well, yeah. But I mean, but the gases, different gases make different colors. And if the sun's producing different gases or getting to a different gas, that would change the color.
I'm a believer that there's a planet in there. So
I think so too.
And I think there's people there as well.
On the sun?
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. And but when I went in
there, a lot
there,
of people can't handle that. So
oh no, when I went in, it was really weird. There's two parts of the sun too. One was technology and one was organic.
We did remote view the interior of the sun, and they saw civilization.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Cities.
Yes, cities.
Yes.
Wow. Technology.
Yes.
High technology. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was not what I was expecting too. So that was kind of like freaked me out a little bit.
I actually did the science on that, and it makes sense because our atmosphere comes in layers, and those layers have different temperatures.
Yes.
And the layers that they tell us from the surface of the sun outward don't account for the number of layers that every atmosphere should have. There should be cooler atmosphere lower down, like we have. Our upper exosphere can be 6,000 degrees. Now imagine if it was electrified like the aurora borealis, where it's even hotter.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be like
the Earth could look like the sun.
Yeah, from a distance, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I wonder if that's why. I wonder if that's why I saw one time the Earth turned into a star.
We've had
Maybe.
several suns. We had Saturn first, then Jupiter, and now the sun. At least by some beliefs.
I wonder if we're next.
I don't know. We could be. Who's ever the biggest body in the solar system rules.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why Saturn and Jupiter were ousted, because a bigger body, the sun, came.
That makes sense. That makes a
Wow.
lot of sense.
A new
Something to think
ruler,
about.
a new king, if
Yeah.
you will.
So the sun came in from
You can
somewhere
go
else.
back to the ancient writings, and a new king is born, right? So
Yep.
new king replaces the
That
old.
means we would have a sun change.
We
Yeah.
could, yeah.
And
We
that
could.
would make sense if we went into a new age, which would be a new age, which would be a new king, a new ruler. And that's supposed to be Aquarius and Saint Germain. So what planet would be representing that? Would that be a planet coming from outside the system, or would it be something?
That's an outside influence more. That's an influence of the 12, one of the 12 polarities
Uh-huh.
in the toroid field.
Hmm.
So the sun could say the sun, but the energy would be Aquarian.
Okay. So it would just change programs as it goes over the
Yeah.
line of the grid of the field of the hall. Okay, that would make sense. Okay. I can see how that would work. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're definitely coming into a whole new everything with
Yeah.
this new age of Aquarius. It's definitely going to be, and what I've been shown too is that this is 3 cycles ending within a cycle. Three cycles, one smaller, one middle size, and then the large one, the 26,000 year one. They're telling me it's 3 cycles ending within a cycle, which is
Oh,
huge.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they showed me.
That's upheaval.
Yeah, well, then it
No
showed
matter
me.
what happens.
Then it showed me it would shift the consciousness in 3 layers deep, as we're already sitting in 3 layers of consciousness. All 3 layers of consciousness would be shifted with this transition. So it was going to affect all trinities of all aspects of all the planetary, the major cycle, the minor cycle, and then the small cycle, or the grand cycle, or whatever they call it. There's 3 cycles and 3 consciousnesses. This is going to transfer all of it. And it seems as we're going into purple. You know, it's always been red ship, blue ship, red pill, blue pill, pick, choose, divide, divide, divide. What happens when you smash red and blue together?
You get purple.
Yeah, ta-da!
Yeah.
Yeah, purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have the Purple Party started a couple of years ago in Canada. They're for freedom and small government, and they're actually becoming popular.
Well, yeah, it's the
You know,
it's the power of the wisdom of the crown, and it's
yeah,
the violet
it's
tiger.
really, it is hitting with people's, system. Their third eye is seeing it, so they have active pineals.
Yeah.
The
people who wear the crown, they do have an active pineal gland. So yeah, because they've activated the crown. Yeah. And think about it, the plague upon the land, they call it after the crown. It's like, it's so funny. It's like, it's all about taking that into a negative place, because right now we have the potential to take it into the highest place. And that's what they're scared of.
Yeah. We could take everything, we could expose everything, we could take all of their evil and turn it right around for good.
It's not just that. We could literally start to do the work that Jesus did. We literally can start to heal each other, and just literally, nothing's real till you.
Well, that's what we've been doing, and they hate that. That's why they're out of YouTube. They're getting rid of anybody talking about faith healing.
Yes.
Because that doesn't work. That's not a jibby jab.
Yeah, but it's $1 billion business, and those guys got 7 jet planes to prove it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. They do. They got quite a following. So
through criminal activity,
How's it working so well in religion?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's always about the people in charge suppressing everything else.
Yeah.
Well, they just want to make sure they can control who gets the healing and how it's done and who's telling people how, it's control.
Yeah.
They don't want everybody to know that, no, you can do this too.
Yeah. And the problem is they operate on a very low vibration.
Yes.
And they can never rise to the heights that we can, or the common man can.
Probably right.
Anybody. So how can you keep control of people who are rising right above you? You can't, unless you suppress them, unless you attack them, make them feel bad about themselves, blame them for things,
Activate that ego.
Yeah. Put them in little traps of sports and entertainment and, icons and idols,
Yeah. Yeah. But always
Yeah,
their favorite one is fear of death. That's always the favorite.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the religion
And punishment,
used,
death and punishment, eternal punishment even.
Yeah.
That one worked good for a couple almost 2,000 years,
Yep.
Yeah, they just twisted it up a little bit and made it fit society for today, and
they took
people are jumping on board.
Yeah, they took a story that should free you and made it one that'll bind you, where it can either bind you or free you.
When I figured out it was the story that frees you, and I realized that all of the idols on this world are imitations of the ones from the unseen realms. And it's like Jesus in the Bible, he did say, this is when
and the jackals of the unseen world too.
Yeah, well, when Satan offered him the whole world and the kingdoms, which meant the other planets and stuff, he's like, this is not my Father's house. This is not where I come from. This is not my world. So you can offer me nothing, because where I go, you cannot go.
Yeah.
See, that for whatever reason, that stuck with me really hard. And it rang a bell of truth in me that was like, if you can see it in this, if you can see it here, it's not the right light. It's inverted, fractal, reflective light in 7 rays from pure white invisible spectrum light. It's not the same light. It's using mirrors. It's all produced through mirrors, which fractal the light. So nothing here, nothing could ever be real.
Well, they have quite literally inverted everything.
Yes, everything is backwards and upside down. He would tell me this 100 times. It took me 20 years to understand what it meant, and it was because of the mirrors.
It is literal, just absolutely literal. Yeah,
literally fractal light
on every level as well.
Yes,
every level of existence that we're in right now is inverted.
Yeah, and when I really, really realized that, I was like, oh my God, I used to, worship all the Jesus of this world and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, it's a trap. And now I knew what he meant when he kept telling me, be careful for the Jesus trap. I'm like, what are you talking about, boo? What?
Jesus,
so then
Jesus
I got
is my
it.
Friend.
And I finally got it. I was like, oh, smack. I'm in trouble. I have totally fallen for it. I have bought the bullshit just like everybody else. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And if this is wrong, if this is a trap, and if this is truth, then I rescind all of it and I rebuke all of it. And I apologize for my ignorance and my stupidity. If this is true, in fact, true, and I just need to know the truth, even if it breaks my heart. Just, I need to know. I need to know. And I had a vision. I woke up the next morning with a dream vision, cutting myself out of a 30-foot long serpent and digging out my identical sleeping twin who was in stasis of the belly of the snake. And then I heard that big Ancient of Days guy thing that speaks in 1,000 voices at one time, and it's all the same voice. And he said, my child, you have now been set free from the watery grave of which you have slept. My child, you have now been set free from the bondage of the serpent. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, there's got to be some meaning to that. Some of the dream
big
stuff.
Meaning that this is a serpent system. This is the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its own tail. This is a system of death and life, rebirth, regeneration. The regeneration is the serpent. The serpent is the replicator.
And what about the serpent race too?
Yes.
It goes to so these things go to so many levels. We last week we looked at the serpent, the eagle, and the dog. And the serpent has driven the dog away. The dog used to be here. The mammal, Anubis, used to walk with us and trade with us and be friends.
And think about it, dogs.
They've been driven away.
Dogs are man's best friend. And if you turn the word dog around, it says God.
Yeah, and they drove them away. The serpent drove the dog away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
maybe they'll come. Maybe they'll be coming back though.
Yeah. But the serpent can save you or slay you. There's also the polarity within the serpent, and the serpent is the part of the healing medicine of the subconscious of the divine feminine. But the dark side of it is what we got right now with big pharma. It's both. It's got both. It's got both. It's always, everything has both here. That was another huge thing for me. You know, the key to our failure is to make us take sides. That's how they win and we fail, is if we are divided.
They created the sides in most things,
and when,
you know.
When you see everything as both, it's like,
and there's no middle ground. There's no middle ground in anything.
Yeah, I can't divide it because it's all one thing. It's just two different sides of the same damn thing.
Two extremes of one thing.
Of the same thing.
Yeah. Gee, that's not seeming to pull you absolutely to one side or absolutely to the other.
Yeah, you can't be. And then when you think
can't be in the middle ground, you know.
When you go to the middle, what happens? You hit 0 point. Be still and know that I am God. Bam, you win.
Walk the narrow road.
Chicken dinner, you win. You win.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
You don't walk
that's when I started pulling that shit. That's when shit started getting rocky. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, do you choose this? I'm like, nope, I choose both.
Yeah.
I know it's the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Snap.
That's right. Once you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You go in all
That's
blind.
what I mean. Once you know, it's like, oh, really? You think you can say, oh, you're going to choose Satan or devil? Guess what? Guess what, guys? I'm both. I'm going in the middle. I'm that circle.
Yep.
I'm the circle. I'm that circle. What you gonna do with that? They're like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah.
I'll choose E, thank you.
E? Yeah, E.
You give me A and B, I'll choose E.
Yes.
Absolutely. Which means everything. Everything. I'll just choose all of it. Yeah, but this is like the big thing I see right now is, everything's about trying to keep us divided and choosing sides and going against each other. And we need to understand that everything is all the same and it's all one thing. It's just two expressions of the same thing. And once you go there and you understand that our ability to choose is the greatest ability that we have, and our ability to have some type of free will is truly, if we even do have that, what an amazing thing to hold, but there's so much that we need to understand with our consciousness, and you're doing a really good job on helping people to understand a big part of it, because being able to see outside of this reality into other places and other times and other things, it shows you the truth of what you actually are, which is a multidimensional being.
It shows you how powerful we really are.
Yeah.
It does. By gosh, we've had a long show. We didn't even get through this book. So Max, you're going to have to come back. We're going to have to, because it really gets interesting about the halfway through. We just started the dream part, and and that's the most interesting part, is the dreaming. And I hope that, so here's the book. If y'all want it,
dreams. Try to remember your dreams. If you think of something, if you're working on a problem, a spiritual problem or a question, think about it just before you go to bed, and you'll probably dream about it.
Go get yourself a cool little dream book with a dragon on it, like this one here, and you know, this is a dragon journal. Anyway, and when you wake up, write something down, do better than me. I'm telling you, but I haven't done it, but I need to do it. I want to make a few announcements.
Do it all the time.
There you go with the Shazam.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
You know, so we're gonna have to have you back, Max, and do this again, and keep up good work on your remote viewing class, because my gosh, according to this book, you're doing it just about right. You know,
Awesome.
it's
Yeah, it's
really
nice to have confirmation, because I don't do research on remote viewing. I don't follow remote viewers.
You're a master from another time, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I just want to do it intuitively. Use your intuition. Do it by intuition. That's how the first ones did it, right? Who wrote the first book on enlightenment?
Absolutely.
A guy who just went there, right?
Yeah. And I love it. I love it because you had the bravery to just do your own that you are bringing forth an energy and a frequency that nobody else can. So thank you, because people love the way you teach. You're a master. You really are. So thank you. Seriously. Super thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I love what you do.
Oh, you too. Like I said, and we're all doing different parts, and it's such a beautiful thing, because we're all making a difference in our own consciousness, and we're finding our own answers and our own truth, whatever that might be. We're trying to.
Class will be in about a half an hour.
All right.
If you want to come on by.
Well, and that's the thing, is if we all, you know, that's this place here, the Milky Way Soul Tribe channel, to get together, and we all get together and we talk, you know, like we're doing now, and then we interact, because otherwise, Max, you're just over there doing your thing. Trina, you're over there doing your thing. I'm over there doing my thing. We need to get together, and then, you know, and this is where we really make things happen. And then we go back with this renewed, you know, sense of, wow, you know, I'm making an impact, you know, kind of thing. So thank you, Max. Thank you. Like I said, you got to come back. We got to go through. The guy talks about how he's doing remote viewing on his own to practice up, you know, and how you can do it too, and how good he started getting, and not overdoing it. I mean, he's overdoing it, but he's not overdoing it. He's just using his muscle.
We've got some people in chat that have really got their third eye on here because of the practice they've done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And to Joe Sapien, who kept saying stuff, don't let anybody get you down. In this book, the guy was saying they were trying to put him down too, like debunk that remote viewing. You go there and, you know, debunk it. And
the reason I did it is because I could do it. So I thought, if I can do it, anybody else can, and I haven't been proven wrong yet. So come to class, buddy.
That's right. And then don't let your friends say, oh, that's bull crap, because guess what? They just never tried it. Just because you didn't try ice cream doesn't mean you don't like ice cream. You know.
And like I said too, when somebody's told you that you can't do something, that's already a program you got to remove, because everybody does have this. Nobody's excluded. It's just, how does it work in you? Your language might be different. So honor that if it is, and don't think it's going to happen like anybody else. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen for you, in you, because none of us are doing it the same way.
And before we go, I want to shout out to Grandpa Brian. Everybody knows him. Apparently, he said that, or somebody had said that he had a cousin die this weekend or so. So send him some heartwarming energy and some cosmic hugs. And then Joanne, on a lighter note, Joanne Dancing Gypsy's birthday today, somebody says. So
happy birthday, Jojo.
Jojo, happy birthday, hon.
Yeah. Send out to Jojo, and remember, go to Moon Tracks and Astro Seek to find out your moon alignment sign deal, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. You want to go to Moon Tracks or Astro Seek. There's a sun sign lunar calendar in there, so it'll show you your sun when your sun sign is. The moon is in your sun sign. It goes through all 12 signs over a month and comes back. Not on the same day. It'll be a couple of days different each month. So that's why you need the tracker.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to look it up. Okay. Well, thank you all. This has been a great, interesting show, man. We went really long, but I couldn't stop you. This was just mind blowing. And so anyway, till next time, everybody, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all, and see you next time.